Hi, recording.
Beautiful. Welcome to game night. It is Tuesday, the 5th of February, and tonight we are doing, instead of featuring a specific single game with a game creator, tonight we are featuring card decks versus game Smackdown. And you may actually wonder what exactly a Smackdown in that is.
Yes.
And of course, as you can see to my side, I own a lot of card decks. And so it's not my intent here to smack card decks. I love them. They're beautiful. And yet I want to look deeper into what the mechanics are behind the decks that we use and love, and what is different between that and a game. And so that is what we're going to talk about, what we're going to play with tonight. We're going to play a few of these games. We're going to play some of your games. And if you're watching this later, I would love to know what some of your favorite Oracle or Angel or Whale or Fairy decks, or, you know, like there's so many cool ones out there. I would love to see some of those. So before we get too deeply into it, I actually want to pick up one game that's a kind of interesting card deck. I got it a couple years ago. My family never wanted to play it. They claimed it was a conversation starter game. Mm-hmm. And it's out of Holland, and they have these little round 1, round 2, and round 3. So round 1 was personal questions. So I'm going to pull out round 1 questions, and I would love, Lisa, if you will play with me.
Sure.
All right, cool. So I'm going to shuffle them, and you just say stop when we're at your card.
Stop.
Okay, that's the one. Okay, this is looking back in the past year, which moment would you most like to relive?
Oh, wow. Last year. Well, just the last couple months were amazing because I just let go of everything and played outside. So I can relive that all day, any day. And just, you know, collected rocks. We have a bunch of quartz crystals around here. So went rock hunting and hiking and just played outside. So that's what I would say my moments are. Favorite.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks. Thanks for sharing that, Lisa.
Welcome.
And Wendy, you want to play? Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Sorry, I'm on mute a lot because I've got a cough. I'm getting over a cough.
It's all right.
Yeah.
So just say stop when we're at your card.
Now.
That's the
Stop.
one.
Yeah.
Past year in retrospect, what was one of the most exciting experiences?
I think for me, it was really stepping out of my comfort zone and starting to do public speaking and Facebook Lives and just being seen, which is not something I am super comfortable with, but it really did unleash me to become the human that I am here on this earth to be. So that was probably the biggest thing this year. And it's been about being seen all year. So.
Beautiful. That is awesome. That is awesome. And so actually I'm going to ask Kavita to play too. Kavita, I'm going to pull a card for you. So tell me stop.
Stop.
Oh. Past year in retrospect, which 3 people have influenced you the most?
It would definitely be Astrid because we spend so much time together. We play all day. It would be Yola because she gives me a hard time. And we laugh about it. And Jean, you've been there as well. You've been right there, landing the magic when sometimes I can't see it. And you find a beautiful way of really bringing it home. And I love that about you. And I absolutely enjoy viewing life through the way you see things and how you perceive it. So the 3 of you have been the magicians in my life that I get to play with. So yeah.
Well, wasn't that cool? You see, you never pull the wrong card, right? You always pull the right card. And Kavita's going to say beautiful things about us. That was so nice. Thank you. That's beautiful. So interestingly, so this game, the mechanics of it are actually really simple, right? It's just questions on cards. You shuffle them and you ask around the table. The idea is conversation. They have two other levels in the game, but I think it's really interesting to look at this kind of game. It's really simple. And, you know, from a business point of view, the risk in a game like this is that there's nothing proprietary about asking questions. Now, no one can copy their design. No one can copy exactly what they're doing or how they market or those kind of things. And, you know, who would? You know, we're all running special businesses. But I find it interesting that you can take something really simple like this and put all of your energy behind it because it is so easy to duplicate. And there's really nothing inside of there that makes it totally unique or totally yours. I mean, I like this game. I think it's a nice little thing to have, and they've got it in a sleek little package. And yet, it would be concerning to me as a business model. And so, you know, I look at games from both the fun point of view or engagement point of view, and not every game has to be fun. Some games just are engaging, or they teach you something, or they move you forward, or that kind of thing. And I like to look at the other side of the business model. Is this going to be profitable and drive your business somewhere? And those kind of things. So that's kind of interesting. So I would love to next look at some oracle card decks. And that would include all kinds of angel decks. That includes dolphin decks or whale decks or animal decks or fairy decks or, okay. And it goes on and on and on. I do have a few of them, but I would love to see what ones you guys brought with you. What do you have? The Wisdom Oracle.
Yeah, that's one of my
We have some
favorite.
angel cards. Cool. And blessings. Lisa, I think that's so beautiful. Can you show us the pictures in that one a little bit? Because, you know, isn't that why we buy some of these decks sometimes? It's just because they're beautiful.
They're gorgeous. I mean, here's two of them.
Wow, so elaborate.
Wow, that's quite the illustration.
Yeah, they're really amazing. So, yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So, Lisa, you want to just shuffle it up and pull one for the whole group for us?
Okay, sure. Usually don't shuffle these because they're like super.
Oh, yeah. Well, then just span them out and pick one. That works too. You don't need to shuffle.
I got it.
Okay, cool.
So whatever one pops out of this is going to be it. Ooh, okay. So we got the Warrior Queen.
Nice. So what does the Warrior Queen mean to you?
To me, it means the queen of her own power that's marching forward.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if you drew that for yourself today, what direction would that send you in?
Well, it's all in alignment with just showing up and being my most powerful self and, you know, not being afraid, I think.
Yeah. So and that means just based upon what you told us earlier about, you know, reliving how the past few months of play and fun, it just keeps going in. And so that card is like validation, right? Yeah. It says, keep doing that. That is a good thing.
Yeah. Yes.
It aligns with that. And of course, we always love drawing a queen card. So we're not surprised at all here that you would draw a queen card in our presence because we're all a bunch of queens, yes. And we attract a lot of other queens. You know, we're all sitting on our thrones and we are, you know, reigning our dominion and we attract other realms to come play with us. So
yeah.
It is a beautiful place to be. And so this is what I love about Oracle decks, right? You pull something, it's beautiful. It really speaks to your directly to your soul, right? It gives you a message, and it either says, this is exactly the right place to be, or, you know, here's your little nudge from the universe, or those kind of things. That's what they do really well. Kavita, what else do you have to say about that?
I love the blend of the energy as well, right? The warrior queen, it's like both masculine and feminine. And so I love the fact that with the masculine of, being seen, showing up, taking action, yes. However, it has, it is in the container of the queen energy. So you get to do that from a place of presence, from a place of, like you said, being in your power, from a place of playfulness. Like those are the key words that help you to really connect to what it means to take action or to show up or to get visible in your business, you know? So that's what I'm getting. And to have your creative spin on what that really means for you and how that lights you up and how magical it is for you, because the more you can connect to the joy or reconnect to the joy within yourself, the more you're able to emanate that, and the more your tribe, you know, they're able to see you.
Beautiful.
So Lisa, can I ask you, did you buy that deck or did someone give it to you as a gift?
I bought this deck. I asked a very famous, she's like a shaman fairy lady, and I asked her what her favorite deck was, and she said this one, so I bought it.
Oh, got it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love it.
So you bought it on a recommendation, but then you looked at it and it was beautiful, and you're like, I need that.
I just bought it because she said it was good. I trusted her. So yeah, beautiful. And then I got it, and it's amazing.
Nice. Yeah. All right, Wendy, you brought an angel deck today. You want to open it up for us?
I'll unmute myself. It's funny, this is like a virgin deck. I bought these a year ago, and I opened them and looked at them, and nobody's played with me. I even have another game that goes with it. So that's what happens when you're surrounded by a house full of engineers. Mine is release.
Release.
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Not sure. Looks like there's a bus and an angel.
I'm just really intrigued by that.
That's hilarious.
I think it's release the break. Release the break.
Either that or it's like, let those kids go to school. That's hilarious. I would love to have a conversation with the artist.
Yeah, what came up with that?
Yeah, it's not like getting on the bus. It's like getting off the bus.
Yeah, I don't know if getting off. It's a school bus though, so that's maybe you're getting released from school. I don't. The good thing it's not like a prison bus. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at these illustrations later because now I'm totally intrigued.
So great.
So that's hilarious. So for me. Release for me is really about letting go of stories that you've been told or that you've been telling yourself for a long time. And it has been a 3-year-long journey of just releasing all of that nonsense and that heaviness that can come with it. So I feel pretty unfettered right now in my life, but I want to say I really haven't been in that space until maybe Thanksgiving, you know? So really just allowing myself to be the fullest expression of who I am on this earth to be, which can be scary sometimes because I think that person's bigger than I'm comfortable with right now. So, but to me, it just means release, your stories, your expectations. I don't want to say release your fears because I think they're always with you, but it's more of an acceptance of them. And by accepting them, you release the power they have over you. So. That's kind of where I'm at.
Cool.
And I'm excited to do this.
Yeah. So, and let me ask you, why did you buy that deck?
Well, I have been, I think part of the reason I bought this deck was I really have been trying to be intentional. And I thought this would be a good anchoring technique for me. And obviously I think what happened is I bought it and I bought the game with it. And I just thought, oh, people are going to play with me. And I looked around in my life and I realized none of these people want to play with me. Now, there are more people now who I think would. I just haven't pulled it out. But I have talked to someone about, I played a game with, do you know who Vivian Best is, Jean? She just came here from Honolulu, but she plays this game called Sparked, which is kind of like, you know, a deck game, and you get groups of people. And I played with some other coaches here last month, and I was like, I could get used to this kind of engagement and interaction. And I get that a lot with my coach friends, but like I'm a business coach, so I'm around a lot of business people every day, and their mindset may or may not be open to this. Sometimes it might, but getting everybody together to do something like that is just not something I have focused on doing. So, but that may be in the cards. Haha, yuck, yuck. So, did I answer that question?
Yes, you did. I was
Okay.
just curious what had you buy that? That's really interesting.
I do things on impulse, and then sometimes I look around at my life and go, yeah, what were you thinking? You know, like I do things for me, but then like sharing it is a different story, right? So
Of course.
Come to the right place. We all love games.
yeah.
So Astrid has a superpower for like drawing the most amazing cards. So I'm gonna let you draw one.
Oh, okay, Jean, we all have that power.
It's true.
But thank you. Okay, so I'm pulling from Wisdom of Oracle. And that actually got recommended to preempt your question. That got recommended to me by a psychic coach that I love, Jessica Paschke, Intuitive by the Sea. This is like one of her favorite decks. The tribe. This has to do with finding your right tribe. Let me see what it says. Da-da-da. Number 8. And these are so detailed and beautiful. Essential meanings: community, belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. And this card signals a new affiliation with a group. I feel this is for all of us. Humans are social creatures. We need to know we're useful to our tribes, families, and communities. Let me see what else pops out, because they go quite in depth. Prosperity message: whenever you're in a community of like-minded others, there is a powerful opportunity to reap great abundance.
Woohoo!
Bring it on.
Great. It's good. It's good. Okay, but I'm really glad that we started to talk about abundance with card decks, because this is actually one of my biggest beefs with card decks. I love them and I buy a lot of them. However, as a business model, it's kind of interesting. So I've got this angel deck. Now, with the exception of Doreen Virtue, who, you know, does a lot of decks, and she has a publisher who prints them in China and then does all the marketing and selling of them. Card decks are typically used as an add-on product, which means it's an additional thing to what you're doing. It's going to be sold in the back of the room when you're speaking, and those kind of things. And if you look at that, the cost to produce it and to put it together and to create all those beautiful illustrations and all that kind of thing, it's going to take you a long time to recoup all that investment in back of the room sales. And the kind of model that a lot of people do with decks is they put them up almost like a book. You know, it's kind of an add-on thing. And it can be really good for that. It shows you as the inventor of something. I wrote this. It's certainly more novel than a book. And so I love all that about it. The challenge is your competition is Doreen Virtue, because this is what everyone thinks of when they think of a classic Oracle deck. It's going to be a beautiful heavyweight card with gold edges and a big old book inside. And for you to produce this, you're going to spend a lot. And having produced a lot of games, I know how much this box costs. The box is actually most of the value of this particular package. The box is incredibly expensive, as well as how they bound this book. The binding on this book and the width of this book and everything is actually pretty expensive to keep it in that size. And so you would not be able to sell this at retail anywhere near what Doreen does. And so it becomes then a challenge to say, how can I fit this into my model and still have it work? And I see some people like this one. This is Soul Coaching by Denise Linn. Now, she wrote a book called Soul Coaching. And so this is simply an add-on. Again, she's a Hay House author. Hay House is her publisher, and they produce this as an add-on for people who have already bought the book to now who already know and love her to add that as another product. So cards are great as a follow-up engagement product. They're not as good for a heart of the business model, which is what I always think is one of the best models, because that's the way you can scale your business to 6 or 7 figures. And I won't go deeply into that because this is game night and we want to play games. But I want to look at some games that are card-based, but not Oracle style, or not flat out Oracle cards, that they create a bit deeper engagement and they give you more information. So, of course, I invented one. And we're going to play that in a second. I know, like, Esther's like, I've got it. And so we're going to play that game in just a second. But I wanted to pull this one out because I thought it was kind of interesting.
I have that one. I love it.
Do you have this one too? Of course you do. We do the same thing. Color Intuition. It's actually kind of interesting. The cards are actually, you could use them as a standalone Oracle deck. The cards are, although they're really big, and so they're not, they're not really shuffleable. They're more like set on your desk because you drew them and you want to remind yourself of something. And so those are kind of, this is kind of interesting as an oracle by that, but it also came with 2 CDs that explain how she does her thing, as well as this little booklet that is, gives you, I think, 10 different ways to play, and then some other question, journaling kind of prompt things that she wants you to do. Making this a little bit more engaging than a simple card deck. And so someone could actually look at this and say, Laura Cam, okay, actually that's a really deep, in-depth kind of program. She can sell this. I don't know what I bought this for. I don't even remember anymore. I think it was near $100 though. Maybe it may have been more. I don't remember. Maybe it was just under that. I'll have to go look it up, although this was a while ago. And so there's an opportunity then by adding your wisdom to a game that now you have a deeper piece of material that you can sell standalone. Laura's, of course, also an author, and she has a whole bunch of books on the market. And so in some ways, this is an add-on book for her as well. This one's being marketed through Sounds True, which is kind of interesting. And she's got a beautiful box and beautiful packaging. This is an amazing box. Like, you get excited about cool boxes, right? It's all a good thing. So, what has you buy a game? So, I do want to play this game today, which is Angels, Peacocks, and Butterflies. It's 100 Days of Miracles. And there you go. And so inside this box, there is 3 decks, actually. There's the butterfly deck. Oops, butterflies. There's the angel deck. And there's the peacock deck. Yay. In addition to that, there's a little pad. And then a little booklet. And I'll talk about the booklet in just a second, because the booklet is really what makes this a very different game from just a flat out Oracle deck. So in some ways it functions a little bit like an Oracle deck, but it is much more interactive. It is you choosing where you're at and what you want to have happen. But before I do that, no, actually we'll do this. I will, Lisa, you want to play first?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the angel deck.
Okay.
And you're going to say stop when we're at your card.
Stop.
Cool. Creativity. Cool. We have the butterfly deck, same thing. You're going to say stop when we're at your card.
Stop.
Chakra 6, business evaluation and future planning. And here's the peacock deck. Same thing.
Stop.
Envisioning.
Nice.
So what we do is then we take this little pad along with my unicorn oracle pen, because it's fun, and we fill out the blanks. Creativity, business evaluation, and future planning. That's a lot of words.
Sounds like this is perfect for you, Lisa.
And envisioning. And so there's other words on the pad, and it creates the beginning of a sentence that your brain cannot finish. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to read the sentence to you, and you're just going to listen for the end to your intuition for the end of the sentence. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I am creativity in my business evaluation and future planning. Therefore, I am envisioning
Fun.
Beautiful. So this sentence actually is not, there's no doing in it at all. It's just where you get to stand. And so it's that place that you get to stand today in standing in creativity and envisioning fun, like happening in your business. The next part of that is to take that angel card that we drew, which was creativity. And what we're going to do is you're going to become creativity. And when you become creativity, you will feel that somewhere in your body where creativity lives. So I'd like you to become creativity and see where you can find where creativity lives in your body.
My heart.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that spark of creativity that lives in your heart and we're going to grow it. We're going to grow creativity so it fills all of your organs. And so now creativity is in all of your organs and your whole torso. You are now creativity in your shoulders and your arms, your creativity in your hands and your fingers, your creativity in your hips and your legs and knees, your creativity in your calves and feet and toes, your creativity in your neck and head, your creativity everywhere. In fact, we're going to bump it out about a foot from you, and you're going to be in a big old bubble of creativity. And from that place, I'm going to ask your intuition another question. And here's the question. In light of that, in light of being creativity, what is your key action?
Movement.
Movement. Cool. And do you know what that means for you? Like how you're going to move?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, my daughter's calling me.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. What it means is doing things that are not behind the computer. So more retreats and things like that.
Okay, cool. So, and then in an immediate sense for like today, do you know what you would do to move?
Dance.
Dance? Cool. You asked it like a question. I don't know. Is it dance?
Dance, yeah, that's what I would do.
Cool.
Well, that's what I heard. That's what I heard for you.
Yeah.
So what that is, so that action, dancing for you today is a miracle portal. What it means is by doing it, because it's your inspired thing today, by doing dance today, you get a miracle. And you either get it today, next week, or next year, but you've shifted the matrix of time by doing that thing.
Fun.
And so by playing every day, then you start to get miracles every single day. And so inside the box, there's also this little booklet. And in there is a little tally book sheet, which allows you to then tally what you got. And so we would put a little check mark next to creativity and one next to, what was our last thing? Envisioning. And then we turn the page and find our business evaluation of future planning and put one on each one of those spots. And then every 25 days, you get to do some decoding to see what's going on, to see the bigger picture, the bigger things that are going on in your world, and what can really truly shift who you are and your business moving forward, and even see sometimes blind spots that you couldn't see before.
Oh, fun.
So, yeah, it's pretty damn cool. And so and so you start to see how this kind of card deck game causes a deeper engagement. So when we start to look at mechanics of games, right? How do games actually work, and how does it really get you moving, and how does it get your special transformation out into the world? So Lisa, tell us what it is that you do and the people that you impact.
So I work with entrepreneur women who are successful, who've come out of a engineering or a professional background, that want to coach because they want to help people feel fulfilled. And so I help them with their messaging so they feel authentic and they can be fully expressed in their online presence, in their copy, in their whatever. But it's a lot of helping them manifest what they want, helping them move through so that they can become their full expression. And so this year I'm doing retreats, and my newest thing is to do a premium package with a private retreat.
Cool. That sounds really awesome.
I know. I would do it.
Yeah, so you can see then, you're saying retreat is kind of this thing that's calling to you. When you take at the center of or the heart of your business and say, well, what's that? Well, that's really an empowerment piece, right? The thing that you do with everyone, no matter what, sounds to me like it's some sort of empowerment. Mm-hmm. And so when you put that little bit of empowerment at the heart of everything that you do, so now you have a retreat, you take it there. Now you're doing a leads conversation, you take it there. And so it's this whole idea of how do you have something that actually goes out to the rest of the world so that they get it in an easy to digest way. And then how can it even go deeper in like the big retreat? Like, here it is, woohoo! And like you even said, movement, dance is how you own things. Like you get into that space and here we are, we own that.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen is what games do compared to decks. Now, I have seen some people put decks at the heart of their business and make it work. And so it's simply about an intention of how do you make that move forward. So Wendy, Lisa, anything else you want to say about that? Like the experience of playing the game?
Super fun. I love it. Yeah, no, very, very, I love the way it comes together. Really
Excellent.
Fun. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Wendy, can tell us a little bit about what you're doing. I saw you a couple months ago, and or was it 2 months ago now? Something like that.
It was December 19th.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's on here.
Oh, it's on the slip. Oh. Excellent. We played. It's true. Excellent. What you been working on?
Well, as some of you, as you know, Jean, I work with small businesses as well, but for me, I really have tapped into this piece that I realized what never really did gel for me as an entrepreneur and as a business person is this lack of intuition, or maybe I should say a rejection of intuition in the business world. It's all about the data. It's all about the analytics. It's all about the ROI and how much stuff is being left on the table, how much valuable, juicy bits are left on the table when you disregard that. So when I talked to you, Jean, what I came up with is I am joy in my personal development, therefore I'm in being, and that means I'm accepting. And my action was rent the venue, which I did. And I'm having a conference. And I was like, I got to rent a big venue so it seats 100 people, because I filled a 25-seater and that was too small. So and I really am launching this intuitive sales, and that's kind of the first foray into that. And then I'm about to launch my Facebook group. It's called Business Unscripted, the Intuitive Entrepreneur. So I just want to tap into this piece that people like, you guys, like coaches and people who really have this amazing superpower inside them that they're negating by watching YouTube videos and going to workshops that tell them they have to do X, Y, and Z, all the things that don't align with who they are. And so that's where I am. And I feel like everybody I've met along the way in the past 4 months has given me another, brick in my road where I'm headed. So I thank you for that, Jean. And so, yeah, and I'll keep you posted. It's all happening like in another week. I'm getting it all ready now.
Cool. Well, here's
right.
what you get some actually extra special things tonight because we're not broadcasting. You have the full attention of both Astrid and Kavita on this call. And so although typically I'm just chatting and they're like handling all this back end stuff on Facebook and everything, all the Facebook people get to watch it just later.
Yeah.
And what I need you to know about them is they offer some really, really cool insights and like Kavita says, following the breadcrumbs and putting them all together and making everything make sense. And so typically what happens when we're chatting with people on calls like this, and the three of us are here, is magic starts to show up, and then Kavita has things to tell you. So I would like to take just a moment.
I love how you worded that.
I'm not getting my pen.
Yeah, get your pens, because there are things that are going to happen. And
okay.
So what do you got, Kavita?
So for me, I love that it feels like you want to flip the corporate world upside down and show them how powerful intuition is, right?
Corporate and just solopreneurs, because I feel like they're sucking at the teat of that BS too. Because it's works for corporate, therefore it has to work for a small business. And to me, that's the opposite of what they need to be doing. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I love it. So those are two paths that you're creating, right? Because one for the corporate, it's like going in there and then shaking things up, what they already have. Whereas for the entrepreneurs who are on their own and they're, like you said, buying into all these systems that they see online and what they should do, all the shoulds, right? And it's actually an inner journey for them to get more in touch with who they really are and what intuition really means, and then how does that translate into my business, right? So you're really showing them the difference in their approach and what they think appears to be true and what is actually truth, right? So it's more than intuition. It's your truth map, if you will. Jean, you've got to create a game on this about finding your inner truth or your true north or something like that.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree. And for me, it's the intuition piece is also tapped into that creative genius piece. Like it's all one. I can't compartmentalize it. That's part of the reason I've struggled to get here is I over niched myself until I was just homogenized where I couldn't express who I was. So I realized the reason I couldn't do that is because I believe that your business, your life, all of it's intertwined. It's all a mesh. If one isn't working properly, the other one can't. And so It's intuition, it's creative genius, it's happiness, things all work together. But I work mainly with what I call small businesses and solopreneurs. So this piece of self-doubt and fear and the survival skills and the survivor mode they're in all the time wreaks havoc on the beautiful things that they can innovate. So really tapping in and believing in the piece that brought them there to begin with. it's kind of like dance with the one who brung you, right? They started their own business because they wanted to create and they wanted freedom and they wanted innovation, and then they get in it and they clam up. So just really reintroducing them to that beautiful piece that's inside them already.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm hearing with all of that too is, you know, I mean, we all in this room completely get you. And so it's for the people who you are showing up to serve, for them to recognize that your bigger mission that you're really saying is that intuition is the one that takes the driver's seat, not the logical mind, right? The logical mind gets to follow the bigness that intuition sees and creates, right? Because if we do it the other way around, where we try to create systems and structures first and then try to find intuition within that, we're creating a box or literally a prison for ourselves, right?
Right. We can't create from the prefrontal filter. You have to go from the other pieces, and that's, but there's so many of us that, because we're in survivor mode, we stay in that prefrontal fear and self-governing and nothing. And then we wonder why we can't work on our business, you know? And so anyway, I'm hoping to basically help entrepreneurs get their freedom back and get in touch what makes them unique so that they stand out. And I think when you put all those things together, that's when abundance and the manifestation and the magic happens. And other than that, you're going to be getting in the way with that fear and that analytical piece every time. So,
however, I feel that part of your magic is bringing them to that feeling of being uncomfortable, because in order to tap into your intuition, you've got to face the unknown. That's where the magic lies, right? It's not your logical mind trying to fix everything. So what is it that lights you up in bringing your clients into that space of the unknown? How do you, like, what's your process, or how do you like to do that?
Well, actually, one of my favorite things to do, like in my workshops, is improv. Just getting them completely in the present, not worrying about, say what comes up comes out. It doesn't have to make sense. Just, and it's funny because a lot of times when people spend a lot of time in that analytical space, it takes them a while to get kind of loosened up, but once they get there, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this every day, right? Because it's like they reintroduce themselves into this beautiful piece that they have already. So I like to do improv. I like to mainly also just have fun. Like I'm a complete dork. I will make the biggest fool of myself. So there's not one person in that room that can make a bigger fool of themselves than me. And it really does create a space where people were like, okay, if she can do that, I can step outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So this thing that I'm doing in April is about, it's going to be I'm thinking about calling it the death of a salesman, but mainly just, it's like the unsales process, but I plan to be in like 70s garb. There might be some karaoke singing. I don't know, but I just want to create a fun space where people can open up and talk about their fears around sales and their fears around feeling slimy when they're making a living doing what they love to do. So I'd like to get those things separated.
Cool.
I'm so glad that you brought that to the table.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are watching this in the replay, and saying, okay, what are you longing to incorporate into your business, right? So Wendy just talked about like having this fun, or the intuition integrating with that really left brain kind of crowd. Lisa was talking more about, just adding fun. And well, actually you both talked about adding fun, but Lisa also said nature, right? And movement. And how do you really incorporate engagement? All those kind of things. How are you going to incorporate that deeper into your business and that kind of thing? I think it's really intriguing. So I would love to know, if you're watching this later, what is that thing that you're longing to integrate into your business, but it doesn't look like it'll fit. Like it doesn't look like it'll fit into your business. And so that is a really intriguing conversation. Often a game will bridge that, and we'll put it right back in there. And kind of like Wendy was saying, we're just going to be dorky. Yeah, that's pretty much what that all is. Astrid, you had something to add?
Yeah, I had two things. So one thing that you just said, that it can bridge the thing and bring all of you into your business with the games. I love that that has been such a big thing for several of our clients to especially have difficult to talk about subjects and difficult areas to talk about. Like games really open up that conversation from a playful way. It's really, it knocks you out of your brain pretty much. And as you all were talking earlier, Wendy and Kavita, I got the nudge to ask you, blow your mind. Does that phrase, like, is that important to you somehow? I feel there is something there, whether it's a game that helps you, like like for people who are so used to be in their mind, if you somehow playfully blow their mind, and then they're like, oh my gosh, and then they're basically, I think it's kind of what you're talking about, then they're catapulted out of that, and then suddenly they look at their mind, they're like, oh my gosh, that was like just a fraction of basically you prove intuition to them by blowing their mind. And then you land them in this other paradigm. That's kind of what I feel has happened. What comes up for you, Wendy?
I really think that you could think of it as a shock to the system. Absolutely. I think that, yeah, I feel like sometimes to get people out of their kind of sedentary mindset, sometimes you have to just, whatever that looks like. Usually I try to do it with fun. I don't think I've ever yelled at somebody to get them to, wake up or whatever, but, is that answering?
Yeah.
It's like a game. I find that sometimes blowing their mind is actually being inappropriate sometimes. I use sometimes being quote unquote inappropriate with metaphors or whatever. We'll basically say, yeah, like it makes things funny, but it also makes things, I don't even know if it's funny. It's not so serious. That's what I would say. It takes the severity out of the feelings that they're feeling. So to me, if I were going to do a game, it would be to kind of make light of things that people take way too seriously.
Yes.
And that would be a way of blowing people's mind, I think.
Lisa, that actually seemed to hit you. What showed up for you on that?
Most of the coaches that I work with are doing very serious, heavy work, but it doesn't have to be serious and heavy. It's like we don't have to call it trauma or wound work, right? It can be something so much better. And when they see it that way, when they have that shift in perspective, it's like, oh, this, the excitement is what propels you forward. That's what opens up the floodgates of making things, happen. And so so I don't even know where I just went somewhere in my mind, but yeah, that's what I
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So I want to just ask about the card game thing. There's all kinds of different ways. In fact, before I ask you that question, I do want to point out that 2 weeks ago, we featured a game by Karen Fritz. She's does a lot of brain science as well as outdoor stuff. She created a really, really cool game called Path. I think both of you would like it. She has the brain science and an outdoorsy kind of theme behind it. So if you want to go back 2 weeks and watch the replay on Path, I think you both actually would like that game. Because it's really fun and cool.
Karen from Colorado?
Yes.
I know her. She was from my town.
Oh, seriously?
She was on my show last year. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Very cool. And so, of course, we have done a SmackDown, didn't do any shoulder slams to anyone between card decks and games, but I would love to know. Kavita's going to do a body slam now. What do you see as the most important part of what you're putting into your business? What are you looking for more? Are you looking for engagement? Or are you looking for an add-on? Are you looking for lead generation? Are you looking for creating something that's kind of the heart of the business, that everything goes out from there? What is the feature for you that that is really important for you in working with your clients?
I would say for me, it's something that would be an integrative piece. So engagement, something that would be part of the, you know, proprietary system or method or whatever, you know, it is process, that would help to bring things together in my clients' minds.
Cool.
In a fun way.
In a fun way, of course. Wendy, you kind of talked about, you know, just getting people out of their system. Anything else about that?
Well, actually, while you were talking, it kind of occurred to me that it would be a really great icebreaker. I would like to start doing more with groups and less one-to-one. And so having a really dynamic, engaging icebreaker for everyone to get kind of on the same page would be great, I think.
Oh my gosh, an improv game for you is like coming up for me right here.
Excellent. Well, typically we give away something every week, and I usually roll the dice, and you know, whoever. But it's just the two of you live here today. So I've got this beautiful coin, and so we're going to do heads or tails. Honestly, I don't know what the fabulous prize is today because I've been in jury duty until this afternoon, and we didn't decide what the fabulous prize is. But there will be a fabulous prize that we. And so, okay, who's going to call heads or tails?
Wendy, you want? I'm outspoken.
Tails.
So go for it.
Your tails? Okay. Woo! We got heads. For you.
You're welcome. I always tell people I'm a lucky charm.
There you go.
I'm a lucky charm.
Yes, you are. Thank you, Wendy.
Well, cool. We will reach out to you with your fabulous prize because
so much. This was
we're
fun.
always going to have fun. So glad that you both came to join us live. If you're watching this on the replay afterwards, thank you for coming here. If you're on the Facebook feed, just go ahead and put a hashtag rewatch, or I guess everyone's rewatched because we recorded today. You don't have to do that. We can find you. If you have questions about games or about card decks or any of those things, of course, reach out to us via private message or on the feed. Thanks so much for coming to game night. We will be on again next Tuesday playing more games. And we have some really cool games featuring all the way through February that are going to be some really cool new games that are coming out. We're seeing some that have been out for a little while. And then we're going to feature some childhood games too, which is going to be tons of fun. And so I hope that you all join us again for game night. We will be here again next week on Tuesday. Thanks for coming.
Anybody who wants Jean's game, she has it, or I have it here too. So you can just message us if you're interested in actually owning one of those.
Thanks, Astrid. Have a beautiful week, and we will see you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you both. Bye-bye.